I challenge you to a duel. We shall fight the sport of kings. We shall honor the great old ones in ritual combat of single-action ocean liner battle. That's right, baby! The ancient sport of piloting a ship 300 meters long like a true gentleman. A ship of class and sophistication filled with all the amenities a gentleman desires. Turkish bath, swimming pool, fencing arena, smoking lounge, and the very finest of dining experiences. Covered in a dazzling array of whatever weapons we happen to find lying around at our closest naval shipyard. As challenger, I have the right of first pick. And obviously I have taken the pride of the Empire, the SS Great Eastern. I have filled its decks with machine guns, 5-inch guns, missiles, and of course the mightiest weapon of the British Empire, 111 16-pounder guns. Yeah, baby!
Lincoln made young General George McClellan the new commanding general, and McClellan began to train up his men. He thought a lot of himself, however, and believed he was going to be the nation's great savior. And like many others, he didn't approve of the president's handling of the war. On one occasion, Lincoln went to McClellan's house to meet with him, but McClellan was late returning home. He kept the president waiting, and when he finally got there, he just straight up went to bed. Now that's what I call disrespectful.
You are an ass. You are an ass. Where? He is there. There is the ass.
You should have more to drink.
You are forgiven.
But to most of French noble society, he was just a weird orphaned millionaire. And what do weird orphaned millionaires do? They become Batman. But who would Lafayette become Batman against?
You said you wanted to know how to get to Capone. Do you really want to get him? You see what I'm saying? What are you prepared to do?
Everything within the law.
And then what are you prepared to do? If you open the ball on these people, Mr. Nash, you must be prepared to go all the way. Because they won't give up the fight until one of you is dead.
I want to get Capone. I don't know how to get him.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
So when we're not eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we've been surviving off of Cheetos.
Yep.
This one bag of Cheetos you have been eating for 2 days now.
Yeah, pretty much.
My mommy gave them to me.
They got all the nutrients that plants crave.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's like Rondo.
It's the wonder of nature, baby!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Uncut History. It is I, the vessel that used to hold the soul of Redoubt Productions. I don't think I'm ready for tonight. I'm not ready for this weekend, to be quite honest. I am not ready, but I do have my rum and root beer. I'll stir it together to pull me through tonight and get me through to the weekend. Normally, I know people mix rum and Coke, but the only pop that kind of works with my system is root beer. Any other pop, I'm it'll do me worse than any beer. It's weird. Maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it means I am a man and I can only taste alcohol and no other drugs. Okay, I don't know where I was going there. I'm just going to shut up now. How are we all doing tonight? How are we all doing tonight? What are you trying to escape from? You're trying to escape from my insanity? No, get back here, Manji. Get back here. You're hanging out with us. You're hanging out with us. So, originally, what this stream was going to be this nice informational dive into the Gadsden flag, which has been in the news this week. And don't get me wrong, we'll get to that. That's the main feature tonight on the show. But boy, have I got several tales. I rolled in about 15 minutes ago, just ran up in the room like, I have nothing set up. I have nothing to talk about. Then I started watching the funny reels and I went, oh, wait a minute. A lot of crap happened. I could just make a whole stream about that. Now, we're not going to spend too long talking about the crap that's happened to me this week, to myself and my friends, my co-hosts at the Heterocromedia podcast. Boy, am I going to entertain you for a bit. So sit back and relax. Everlay music. Yeah, I see you. You're there. You're there in that corner, All right. So the first story deals with these. These are glasses I used to wear when I was in high school several years back. These are not my current prescription. How did I end up with them? Well, my current pair, I've had an issue on the right, my right stem. Is that the term for it? The technical term, the stem. The screw would keep coming undone. And now usually I can catch it in time and batten it back down, but lately I haven't had the time to sit down and tighten it. And this afternoon, the screw popped out. I have yet to locate that screw. It is so tiny. It probably rolled under the refrigerator. So that's a lost screw. And I'm like, crap, I'm working the rest of the week. I don't have time to go and get it fixed. Well, we noticed that on the internet, my local Walmart had its eye center open until 8 p.m. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to, but I'll make an express run out to Wally World. That's about a 10-mile drive. So I get down there. Sign says they're open till 4. Now, I am not upset at the staff of the Walmart Eye Center. Of course, I understand how limited hours are due to a lack of staff at any place of employment in the United States today. But boy, am I pissed off at the person who runs the internet. So I had to get back in the car without my glasses fixed and drive back. Now, these pair, I don't know if you could tell how screwed up they are. The frames are so bent out of order. You can probably actually see I'm moving this very easily with one hand. I can't tell which side is the problem. Is it the left or the right side that's bent? Where did the bend start? In either case, both sides are not in line. And anytime I wear these, while I can see it much better, I'm getting a headache. If I don't have these on, I got to get this. I'm not even joking. I got to get this close. I'm sorry, I'm blasting your eardrums out. Getting this close to the chat to read it. So, hopefully tomorrow, I could get them fixed. I don't have faith in Walmart. I'm going to be pretty honest with you guys. If anybody has relations with Walmart, you can comment in the chat below and tell me, should I have faith or should I not have faith that they'll be open tomorrow? And I'm going to be stuck like this all weekend. So that's the one story. That's why this stream's kind of run. We are already off the cliff and we are free falling, but sometimes free falling can be entertaining. Now, I got another story. This involves me and my co-hosts. So a couple of weeks ago, we went on vacation. We went down to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, actually. And when I go and do our blitz, that's what we call our historical themed vacation blitz, because we're running around getting all these videos, getting stuff together. We're having a blast, by the way. We're exhausted. We're having a blast. I always make sure to take a notebook. Now, this is not the notebook. Thank you for your purchase at the Bushy Run Battlefield. That just happened. That just fell. When I always go on one of our blitz, I fill up a notebook like this. And I actually have I got so many stories. I got a whole story onto the drama trying to get these notebooks. But I always fill up these notebooks with bits of information to keep my brain semi-flowing when I go out and do the videos. It doesn't normally work out well. I still just turn into a bowl of blah, 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 blah. And usually have to edit in post-production. But I always try to go take a book of notes with me to the sites I'm going to be filming and just to the sites I'm exploring. And we also did a lot of brainstorming, me and my co-host, story ideas, crazy story ideas that I may one day capitalize upon. We'll see if I ever have time to work on them. We're talking, have you ever watched the anime Gate? Well, imagine that, but 10 times more crazy. Anyways, so there was a bunch of crazy stuff in this notebook, and I get home and I'm looking around. I'm like, where's my notebook from the trip? I know I had it in with me when we left Harper's Ferry. We had it at Antietam. Where's my notebook? I dug around, and then I asked my co-host, I said, hey, and this is Humble Collector for the record. I asked my co-host, hey, did you see if I left a notebook in the car? No, man, I haven't seen it. And I made a joke, well, must have been lost at Antietam. It'll become an artifact one day, a eldritch horror of an artifact. Well, a couple days later, unfortunately, my co-host was in a bit of a car accident. He is okay. Everybody who was involved was okay. It was mostly fender benders, but he got rear-ended. I kid you not. He found the notebook after the wreck. It had come flying out from under the seat. It was stowed away, hidden in, what do they call the thing in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the something space, that they're traveling for. Came out of that. Came back into our reality. So he wasn't upset. What was weird was he came to me, he's like, oh, I found your notebook. I'm like, how'd you find it? Well, I was in a car wreck. I'm like, that's how you start your sentence. You found the notebook. You don't tell me about the fact that you were in a life-threatening situation. So that happened. So I got my notebook back for all that chaos. Then the next morning, I wake up. I am so sick. I had never been this sick in a long time. I believe it was dehydration. I had to stay in bed all day. It was a beautiful day out too, but I couldn't go out. And now I can't locate the notebook again. This isn't the notebook. This is a notebook. It's actually pink. I kind of hope I don't find this notebook again. This notebook is cursed. We at the Heterochromedia podcast have created the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. This is the book of the dead. We have created it somehow. We need Ash from Evil Dead to come and tear it up. So those are my two stories of me rambling. I hope you enjoy my rambling. Let's see what's going on in the comments section. I got to move the microphone. Subspace. Okay. See, that's why I have Evelyn music here to remind me. I love the movie and I couldn't remember the Subspace Highway. What's your opinion of the Scott Pilgrim? They're calling it an anime. The Scott Pilgrim animated series that's coming out, and they have all the original cast back. I don't trust Netflix, but they do have all the original cast back, and the animation looks pretty on point to the original comic. What do you think, Evelyn and other people? Hey, Johnny Douglas is joining in. Welcome to the stream. Hey, stick around a little bit. We're going to be talking about not stepping on snakes. You don't know. I agree. I have a giant pitchfork. I'm holding Netflix back. I'm like, all right, you can show me. But the first sign that you screwed up, yeah, hopefully turns out to be good. Oh, God. The King of Twix has arrived. That is your title now, Johnny Douglas. In A Drink with Crazy's Gilded, what do we got? We got the Iron Age Booty Daddy. RH knows the Iron Age Queen. I think I've been labeled the Iron Age Historian. We have all these different nicknames. We got the Hedge. And now we got the King of Twix. That is your nickname now, Johnny Douglas. Everybody who's in the Gilded, you're now going to refer to him as the King of Twix. I have spoken. Grab that pitchfork in solidarity. We do have King Richard. So we have King Richard, but we'll refer to Douglas going forward as simply the King of Twix. His name won't be included. It'll just be the King of Twix. How you feel about that, Burnett? Sorry. Yes. Yeah. Join that rum and root beer. Guy is so good at going viral on Twitter. They need to start mailing him gold at this point. They do. Well, I'm not going to ramble too long. Well, I'm going to ramble, but I'm not going to ramble about myself. I'm going to ramble about other people. And the first person we're talking about, you might recognize this name. Boom. Ooh, what is that? Well, that's not the Ultimate Kahuna. That's later. You can tell I just thrown a scatter at the last minute. So I was watching Addressing Gettysburg, which you have not. Addressing Gettysburg is one of the best podcasts out there on YouTube. Now, of course, it's set in Gettysburg, but I'm not going to label it a history podcast, though they do focus on a lot of history about Gettysburg, the battle, and the town. But it's just become a general info center for Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and for people in central Pennsylvania, for that matter. If you want to learn about every little nook and cranny going on in that town, check out Addressing Gettysburg. They usually go live Thursdays around 6:30, 7 p.m. I usually catch the first half before I start my show. Well, Matt, who's the host, was talking with somebody on the phone somebody from the island of Maui. And Matt brought up that the only information he is getting about these wildfires that occurred in Hawaii on the island of Maui is from YouTubers. The mainstream media is not talking about this at all. And most of these YouTubers are being more reliable sources of information. And that's on Benet Knox down. That's being the honest truth. A lot of people on YouTube reporting are giving a much better idea of what's going on or what they're not telling us is going on the island. And one of those folks that's been doing that the past few weeks is somebody we know as the Ultimate Kahuna. Yes, you know those that know who the Great Kahuna is. So he has relatives that live on the island of Maui, and a couple weeks ago, he actually went to assist in the relief effort, and he has since been posting a series of vlogs from his time in Maui. Now, I believe he is stateside again, but he is still posting these videos, and they are a great wealth of information to get a bit of an inside perspective on what's happening. Now, by no means is the Ultimate Kahuna, and he'll probably tell you this himself, he's not given a comprehensive view of the fires. He's just shown what he went in and assisted with, just one story. But it's given you more of an understanding of the island and the perils of providing relief to the island than the mainstream media let you know. So, but that's not what the Ultimate Kahuna does. What he primarily does on YouTube, he's been making very entertaining unboxing videos of independent creators. So he'll make these little fun videos. They're short videos. You could typically watch these in you could go through probably library in a good half hour, but they're all funny, all very entertainment. So he has all these crazy unboxing videos. Like he got the ultimate Iron Age method, how he determines what his next Iron Age literary piece is going to be that he reads. He also is trying to duke it out with A Drink with Crazy for who has the ultimate wig of destiny. I think the Kahuna wins right now, unfortunately. Royce's hair is it's gone a little small. So the Kahuna wins by default right now. But yeah, if you're currently looking for some information on the Maui wildfires, again, by no means a comprehensive one, but you just want an insider's perspective, or I should say this, an outsider's perspective going into the island. And if you want to have some very entertaining videos about independent media that's coming out, be sure to check out the Ultimate Kahuna. And yes, I'm going to link. Hold on. I got to do this. So I've been operating the stream the past 2 weeks off of Microsoft Edge to see if I get a better result. I believe I am getting a better result, a slightly better result, especially if I end up sharing a video. So yeah, be sure to support the Ultimate Kahuna. Yeah, he's been growing very quickly lately. He's up to 350. I'd like to see if we get him to 400 by next week. Hey, if we can get him 400 tonight, I'm not going to complain. Actually, if we get him to 1 million tonight, I'm not going to complain either. He made me and AC Pritchard your honorary. How do I pronounce that? Ho'ole Kahunas. Your honorary Kahunas. But you're not the Kahuna. You're not the Ultimate Kahuna. But you are a Kahuna, Evele. Save the snakes. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting to the snacks. We're getting to the snacks. Don't get hurt by the snakes. The snakes aren't here yet, Trippy. All right, moving forward. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you're like, why is he going this way? Well, it's because I'm having to literally look around my microphone. How do I get back to my screen? I would say this is a boomer moment, but I'm actually Gen Z. All right, moving on. So, right now, we're in the midst of celebrating the 102nd anniversary of the Battle of Blair Mountain. This was the largest military conflict after the American Civil War in the United States. It pitted about 10,000 armed coal miners who were striking against the coal companies in southern West Virginia. Their road to go from northern to southern West Virginia and go down and essentially liberate these southern counties that were under militant law by the Baldwin Felts Detective Agency, by militias, and by state and local police. These 10,000 armed coal miners hit the defense line of about 3,000 militia, police, and Baldwin Felts detectives. They were called Chafin's Army because of the Logan County Sheriff, Don Chafin, who spent a lot of his own money to equip this defense to stop these striking miners. And for about a week in late August, early September of 1921, it was essentially the First World War in the Appalachian Mountains. There were machine gun nests, there were artillery pieces, they were even using biplanes to drop bombs on the armed miners. And if you're asking why you've never heard about this, that's all the more I'll give. So it is a largely overlooked piece of American history. I believe it. I don't get why we have this misconception that the 1920s were this great gallant time of everybody had money and it was all fun and games until the stock market crashed. 1920s are the roaring 20s, not because it was necessarily a good period of time, but it was a very chaotic period of time. And this is a perfect example of it. And just a few years ago, a museum dedicated to what is become known as the West Virginia Mine Wars, which the Battle of Blair Mountain was the climax of, was opened in Matewan, West Virginia, the scene of a shootout that kind of got the whole Mine Wars going. Now, I think I've talked about the Mine Wars Museum in a previous preservation shout out. If I have not, I should definitely get in contact. I'd love to get somebody, a representative from the museum on here as a guest for the show. But we're not necessarily going to talk about the museum, but one of the projects they're collaborating with, and that's Courage in the Hollers, mapping the miner struggle for a union, a project of the West Virginia Mine Wars Museum. And there you can see the currently, if you go down to Blair Mountain, there's next to no markers telling you that of this big event. And I forgot to mention, in addition to 10,000 armed miners facing off against 3,000 men of Don Chafin's army, you also had several thousand U.S. Army soldiers being moved in there to stop the rebellion, to disarm the miners. So you had this big congregation of people in the middle of southern West Virginia. I can't imagine the logistics nightmare that must have been putting all those people in that area. But there's nothing really to mark it or commemorate it. But that's beginning to change. And you can see some of the markers here. What they're planning to do is local communities are collaborating with the United Mine Workers of America and the West Virginia Mine Wars Museum. They want to install these markers, these silhouettes of miners going on the march, going from where they started near Charleston, West Virginia, and follow their trail the whole way to Blair Mountain. So at all the communities they stop, they're hoping that they can install markers like this. Let's read a little bit more. Although mountainside machine gun bunkers, grave markers, and remnants of company towns remain, the footprint of the miners' 50-mile march that culminated at Blair Mountain, its stories and its contributions to American history are virtually invisible. Courage in the Hollers will memorialize the Battle of Blair Mountain and celebrate the collective efforts of the multi-ethnic, multiracial, working-class army that stood up against oppression and left an indelible mark on American history. The museum and its partners have co-created permanent monuments in the rural landscape where the significant event took place, honoring the contributions Unionist miners made to not only West Virginia history, but to American history. The project's first phase, funded by generous grants from Monument Lab and the West Virginia Humanities Council, is focused on the communities on Marmot and Cloyfer, often considered the beginning and end points of the miners' march. working in close collaboration with both communities, and these monuments are being co-created to tell the people's story in an inclusive, truthful, and respectful way. Now, there is a video here. Unfortunately, it's 6 minutes, so we will not be watching it, but I am going to drop a link so you can watch it yourselves. And this is a marker showing you where the current markers are. So there's Charleston, West Virginia, dead center in the state of West Virginia. That is where the striking miners met to listen to the representatives of the United Mine Workers of America, where they were debating, were they going to strike? Were they going to go down to southern West Virginia to break the hold of these militant groups? Or were they going to dissolve and wait for the military to come in and do it? Well, ultimately, they decided they couldn't trust the military, they couldn't trust the federal government, and they left Charleston. And you can see where this flag is. This is where the first monument is, Marmet. That's where the march begins. And it would end in the little community of Cloyfer at the foot of Blair Mountain. And that is the dividing line. That's the northern boundary of Logan County. And that's where Police Chief Don Chafin had set up his defensive line and where the battle would ensue. But I think the end goal is that all the communities they went for, like Madison, they will all have markers. West Virginia Mine Wars Museum is proud to be one of 10 organizations working at Mountain Labs Regeneration Project. This cohort was selected through a far-reaching open call conducted by Monument Lab in 2021, which brought in hundreds of applications from every state, most territories, and numerous tribal communities. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Courage in the Holler, I'm going to drop the link. Yeah, I know. You're like, look, he's bending over so you can see around his microphone. Or it's because I'm blind tonight. So there's a... He snapped on the snake. Is that good Trippy or bad Trippy? Well, we lost Trippy. He stepped on the snake and he died. You get to hear about Courage in the Holler. The kid was running for school council, though. Looks up. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Hold on. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome to the stream. All right. Hey, thank you for dropping in, King of Twix. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, you're doomed with that. So that is Courage in the Holler. And now for your featured presentation. Oh, I just realized, yeah, I made a banner for that. Where is... Oh, it's because it's to the left side. All right. Subject of the hour. There it is. You know that flag. The Gadsden flag has been in the news this week. Now, you've probably seen the video already, which is why I'm not going to replay the video. I know the Quartering has done several videos about it. He's done pretty good coverage on this current situation. So if you want to see the actual footage, check out the Quartering's channel. But I'll give you a bit of a rundown, and A.S. Burnett was giving you already a bit of a rundown. Earlier this week, at I assume, elementary or middle school in Colorado, that was a big truck going past. There was a 12-year-old student who has a backpack that has these variety of patches on. Like there's like Saint Michael pins. There's a Dogecoin pin. There's several of these pins and patches, but the one that caught people's attention was a patch of the Gadsden flag. Well, a teacher or multiple teachers told him that because of school protocol, you couldn't have the Gadsden flag. The student refused to comply, so they would not allow him in classes. The parent went in to figure out what was going on, and it seems to be that the parent recorded the meeting, and one of the teachers there was going through that the Gadsden flag violates the school policy because it represents racism and slavery, to which the mother and the child both were buff, saying it has nothing to do with slavery or racism. In fact, it has to do with the Revolutionary War. It has nothing to do with the debate over slavery. Then the teacher just going, yeah, well, but I'm just saying this is what the school district says. And parents weren't taking no for an answer. And it seems to be there was a couple court cases over it, and the parents and the kid have won. The kid is allowed to have the Gadsden flag as a freedom of speech on his backpack in the school. And right now, the parents and the kid have been interviewed by a score of different people, predominantly, if I guess you want to say, conservative-leaning news outlets. So that's the story. That's why the Gadsden flag's in the news this week. Now, how do I start with this? Well, there's a lot I want to say, but it's YouTube. And I also just don't want to say because I don't have a rational brain. So let me do another rum drink, another rum sip. So I guess the best way to start is just telling you this history of the Gadsden flag. Now, the Gadsden flag goes all the way back to the American Revolution, to the very start, to the authorization of the raising of the U.S. Navy, when this gentleman by the name of Christopher Gadsden, who was a representative from South Carolina, this man was actually a signer of the Declaration of Independence, and he was a big financial backer for the development of the U.S. Navy. He designed a flag for the first naval ships that were going out, and the first ship that went out is this one here. This is the USS Alfred. Now, you'll see it has, you might be like, wait a minute, why does it have a British flag? That's not the British flag. That is the Grand Union flag, the first official flag of the United States of America. But in addition to flying the Grand Union flag from the main mast, yep, you can see it right there in the corner. There it is, the forward mast. There it is, the Gadsden flag, the official it was never the official flag of the Navy, but it might as well have been for the first year of the war. And the symbolism of a snake to the colonies has been a strong symbol going all the way back, believe it or not, to the 1750s, to the French and Indian War. This is the first official political cartoon in American history. It was published in the Pennsylvania Gazette in 1754, and it was created by Ben Franklin. When in doubt about mid-18th century American history, the answer is Ben Franklin. Why did Ben Franklin use a snake to represent the 13 colonies? Well, in 1754, as I mentioned, the French and Indian War just started. The British and their colonists are about to fight a war with France and their American colonists, as well as the Native American tribes in the region. Now, the American colonies never really got along together. They did not see themselves as a unified body. They just saw themselves as independent satellites of the mother country. Ben Franklin believed that if they kept this way, the French and natives were going to raid and pick apart the colonists one by one, defeat them in detail. So he put this political cartoon together, calling for a unity of the colonies, lest they will be killed. Hence the term join or die. Now, there was a conference occurring in New York in 1754. They tried to get the colonies to basically form a defensive pact against the French and natives. It didn't work too well. It didn't work out. But the symbol of a snake representing the 13 colonies stuck, and it was used for the remainder of the French and Indian War and during the protests over the taxes which were to pay for the French and Indian War. And that brings us back to Mr. Gadsden, being a big backer of the first naval ships that went out for the United States, and he designed his flag using Franklin's old design of the snake, having it all coiled up, because the whole idea is don't tread on me. If you step on a snake, you know what's going to happen. Don't do that. Especially if you smell cucumbers. Yes, I think it's if you smell cucumbers, walk away. Walk away. That's been a lore I've been told about going out in the forest. You smell cucumbers. Nope, go away. Don't look under that. Don't step on that log. So that is where the "don't tread on me" came from. Now, in addition to it being used for Gadsden's, the ships that he backed, it was used by a variety of different groups, both in the Navy. This is a recent naval jack. I actually own this. It's over there on a shelf. I don't have this eyesight to go grab it right now. I know you're like, the eyesight? Don't you mean the strength? I know what I said. This historically was a naval jack used during the Revolution, and then the United States Navy actually adopted this after September 11, 2001 to be the new U.S. naval jack, and it was used up until only, I think, about a year or two ago, and then it went back to the simple blue field with the white stars that's been used for most of American naval history. But it's also been used by militia groups. This flag is for the militia of Culpeper County, Virginia. It was only around for 1 year in 1775, and they did the Liberty or Death don't tread on me. And this flag was reportedly flown in a battle, which we will be talking about in a little bit. It's a different subject a little way down the line. So many different variants of the Gadsden flag that don't tread on me, and it has been used throughout history, especially by groups of people who feel that they are being wronged by the government. Now, personally, I'm going to be honest, I don't really like the Gadsden flag as a visual symbol. The reason being, I just don't like the yellow. It just, I don't know. I don't want to hang that version of the flag behind me. I like my Lord Calvert old Maryland flag from the French Indian War. The yellow and the black, it pops a lot more than just pure yellow. That's just me personally. I really like these. I've always liked this naval jack, and that's why I own a copy of it. And I even think about buying a version of the Culpeper County flag. But me personally, I've just never really cared for the original yellow Gadsden flag. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me visually. Now, this, as I mentioned, has been used by many different groups of people. Now, we may not agree with all those groups of people. I have my problems when I have a lot of problems when people use historical symbols for a unrelated subject. And if you watch this coming Saturday's Race in History video, you'll see what I'm talking about. I talk about Confederate monuments, and I have some grievances with how certain government entities use the memory of these soldiers that died at Gettysburg. And I'll just leave it at that. So I'm not a fan of political groups, political movements that are not connected to these historical artifacts, using these historical artifacts, warping its image. That being said, if we're having this debate on what does this flag represent in its purest form, it was a flag created to be a naval jack for the U.S. Navy during the Revolution when the United States was trying to fight for its independence from Britain. For that reason, to the teacher who said that this is about slavery and not about the Revolution, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. So there's where I stand on this whole debate. I think most of this is honestly really silly. I mean, it's a flag. It ain't really hurting anybody. People fly all sorts of different flags. As long as you're not flying this flag and they're proceeding to do violence with it to people to unjust violence, then we have a problem. If you're carrying this flag and doing unjust violence with it, then we have a problem. But if you're simply flying this flag in protest, or simply flying this flag because you think it's cool and you like the history, the story that I just told you about Christopher Gadsden making his flag for the U.S. Navy, the only way I can think that they're tying this to slavery is that Christopher Gadsden, like I mentioned, was representative of South Carolina. He did own a number of slaves, but rebelling from the British wasn't about the slavery system in the United States, at least not then. If anything, how do I want to word this? If anything, if you bring up slavery in the American Revolution, in the sense of how they broke away, you have to remember that was one of the big things that was holding back the colonies from uniting. The northern colonies were all for seceding, and keep in mind that's what it was. The 13 colonies seceded from the British Empire. In a sense, a revolution was a civil war between British people. The northern colonies wanted to secede, but the southern colonies, they didn't like the tone being used about abolishing slavery, because they were using about, hey, we feel like we're slaves, we're abolishing slavery, we're done with this. And the southern colonies are like, well, what do you mean? You don't mean our slavery, right? And the North's like, actually, no, yeah, we mean all slavery. And the southern one's like, well, then we're not going to support you. And eventually a very loose compromise had to be made where the whole slavery debate was, we're just going to leave that in limbo. And indeed, that in the short run was a good strategy because it did allow the southern colonies to join. It gave more people for the United States to fight, more people for the U.S. to use to fight against the British and also win our independence. But as we know, in the long run, leaving that debate up in limbo did come back to bite you. So it's not a clean cut story. History's never clean cut. I'm not going to say it was a good or bad move, but had short-term success and it did have long-term negatives. And I got a score of videos on this channel telling you about those long-term negatives and how they led to the bloodiest war in American history. So I think that's all I have to say about the Gadsden flag and the drama that's caused this week. Yeah, I'm dodging. Let's see what you guys have to say in the comments. What are you guys saying? Did you guys all run away? Did I bore you? You sleeping? Drippy, are you sleeping? Well, kind of sleeping because of the Snek. Get your free flag fly. Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, the right flags being meant to be a warning. Absolutely. I just personally, as being a historical flag collector, it's not one I would put up as decoration. That's just me personally. I've seen a lot of people that do it. I see people put bumper stickers on the back of their car and I get the message. I wouldn't put it on my vehicle. If I would, I'd probably put the Culpeper one on my vehicle. I like the white. That's just me personally. Oh, Trippy's he lives. Okay, he's alive. You guys were having a debate over. All right, hold on. So I'm gonna go on a tangent. I'm gonna get down to the lower comments. Man, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I think this is the most comments, the most interaction I've had with the chat. Thank you for joining in. And we do have more to talk about, so stick around. Some Iron Age shilling. But Jonathan Rosenthal has said, a buddy of mine were pulled into the principal's office in the presence of the school officer because we were repping DX and doing crotch chops at recess. They thought it was gang activity. Oh boy, Well, I had my DX phase. Even though I was younger, I didn't grow up with DX. But boy, did I watch the reruns of the Attitude Era. Yeah, I quoted certain taglines of DX one too many times in school. Surprise and again troubles much. It's a revolution since it's a lesser government against a greater government rather than equal governments against equal governments. Fair enough. I just always find it interesting when you start breaking down some of these battles, some of these features of the revolution, and you realize, man, these people were neighbors. These people are country. They're the same at that point they were living in the same country theoretically, and the brutality they do it's something that we're so used to reading about during the Civil War. A lot of people don't talk about the brutality of the Revolutionary War, especially the Southern theater. Those Southern colonies I brought up earlier. That may be where some of the bloodiest battles of the war fought. It was personal. Look up the Battle of Kings Mountain in 1780. I actually want to go to that battle. One of my dreams for the channel is to do a blitz of the Southern campaign of 1780-81. I want to go see where the surrender of Charleston was. I want to go see where the infamous Tarleton Quarters event occurred. I want to go see Battle Camden and see if I can still see General Gates running away. I want to go see Kings Mountain where the Patriot Militia pinned down the Loyalist Militia. I want to go see Cowpens where arguably the greatest American victory occurred during the Revolution. The one time I'll give you that the American strategy was 100% better than the British. And then the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, one of the bloodiest battles of the entire war, and then lead into the siege at Yorktown. I'd love to do that someday. I just got to find well, I need a car. I have a car, but I need a car I trust to go that far. Need some moolah. And I need a lot of time to do that. I'm going to need a lot of time. I need a few days of those battlefields each. I can wander for a long while. There's a house around the corner from me that had a Gadsden flag above a BLM sign hanging on a tree. Ooh, okay. Wow. Even in California, the Gadsden flag flies. Have it as a pin. I like to put it on my dark colored suits because it pops. That's fair. Okay. You see, you guys are winning me back over. You're winning me back over. Now that I see you're putting on the contrast in, I can start seeing it. There is if you ever watched the miniseries John Adams, they got a variant of the Gadsden flag that's actually closer to that political cartoon I showed you, and they actually have the parts of the snake in different colors. I would love to have a repro of that. I believe it's actually shown as a naval jack during the sequence when they're trying to get John Adams over to France, and there was actually a naval action. I love that version of the flag. It pops. That's my favorite version. I don't know how historically accurate that flag is. I've never seen it in textbooks before. Should point at him and laugh. What else did you think I did? All right, so that is my talk on Don't Step on Snek and my thoughts of Don't Step on Snek. All right, moving forward. I have to bend over to see. So I mentioned about the Culpeper County, Virginia militia, and this is the flag they flew. This is the battle that flag may have been flown at. This is the Battle of Great Bridge, or more technically, it's the Great Bridge Battlefield and Waterways History Foundation. So this was a battle that occurred in May of 1775, one of the first land battles of the Revolution. Lexington Concord happened only a month earlier. The Americans are starting to pin the British down to Boston, but when you go further south, the British are hoping that they can quickly move soldiers inland and neutralize the middle and southern colonies before things get out of hand. Well, stopping them from neutralizing the rebellion in the southern colonies was a contingent of militia, the Culpeper County militia, and they created the choke point going toward Norfolk, Virginia, along this span known as the Great Bridge. It was just a simple wooden bridge. They pulled some of the boards of it up, put barricades on the far end, and then basically said, come at me, to the British Grenadiers, to which the British Grenadiers complied. And within 1 hour, there were 60 casualties and the British were running away. And this kind of kept Virginia from falling into British hands during the Revolutionary War. Now, the battlefield itself isn't really preserved because it was a very small area where it occurred. And again, it was basically a bridge, a causeway, a road, and it's now a business district. There is still a bridge crossing in the spot where the original occurred, but it's a business district. But just recently, the Great Bridge Battlefield and History Foundation opened up a museum just a few blocks from where the battle occurred. And just reading down here, here's a photo gallery. Ooh, I could hit that. Welcome to the site of the first land battle of the Revolution in Virginia and America's first victory. Then you can see them doing programs here, and they actually have a monument at the site doing musket demonstrations. Yeah. Nice little exhibit. There we are, right here. It's near Chesapeake, Virginia. Right along the canal, I believe. Yeah. Right along canal. Hey, look, I'm learning just as you guys are. That's why I'm going, pleasantly surprised. All right, let's do a little bit more. I was hoping they would show a little bit more about the museum. I've seen a video by Project Past he went to this museum, and it's a really cool museum, especially considering it's a small scale battle. They got all these silhouette projections of the soldiers coming at you. They have a full 40 feeder you can walk into where they have mannequins firing away at each other and a light show. And they have quite a bit of artifacts, including, I believe, an original version of this flag. See, there's the tie-in. Maybe I have to hit about. Duh, I had to hit about us. Foundation. No. Mission of Foundation. Yep. Nonprofit organized to protect. Oh, it wasn't. Okay, it was December of 1775, so it was a little bit later. Foundation will be the regional leader in promoting the compelling and relevant lessons of the Battle of Great Bridge, the Dismal Swamp, the Albemarle and Chesapeake Canals, by furthering the conversation on the challenges and establishing and maintaining a free and just society. Wish there was a little bit more, a little more photographs. Learn the history. Maybe learn the history. So, yes. Oh, and one other interesting detail is that there were African-American soldiers on both sides of this battle. So, both on the American and the British side. The British promised African-Americans that should they enlist in the British Army, they will be free of slavery. So, many joined the ranks. And they also had these really cool hunter shirts. Kind of want to buy one just for display. It says liberty or slavery, or slavery or death, playing on the liberty or death, slavery or death. I wouldn't mind having one of those. But the Patriot Militia also recruited African Americans, and so they were on both sides of the fighting. In fact, I was reading a story about one of the guys that was on the Patriot side. He actually was the watchman for when the British were coming, and he got off about 8 or 9 shots. And it's a musket. You get one shot, you got to reload. But he's running, reloading, firing, holding off the Grenadiers. They're charging, and even got to throw up one of the last boards before he crawled over the barricade, and the Patriots commenced firing on the British. And that soldier actually served with the Americans all the way through to the siege of Yorktown. So, yeah, that is Great Bridge Battlefield. Nice little exhibit. If I'm ever passing through that area, I'll have to make a detour. Unfortunately, it's way down like southeastern Virginia, and currently I have no plans to go down there. Doesn't mean I couldn't change those plans. So there's the link. I've been watching you for... John Smith. John Smith has joined us. I've been watching you for some time. I like what you do. You have a fever for Revolutionary War history like I do. Good job. So I do some Revolutionary War history. Predominantly, I'm actually focusing on the French and Indian War. That is actually my specialty, even beyond the American Civil War. But I am getting into more and more of the Revolution because the French and Indian War bleeds right into the Revolution. I love the little nuggets, like the Battle of Great Bridge, like the Southern Campaign. No disrespect to people that are all into George Washington, but the Delaware Crossing... it's a very important event. It is one of the most important events of the Revolution, but everybody talks about that. Same thing, Valley Forge. I'd love to go see Valley Forge someday, but it's not on the top of my bucket list currently, just because everybody's done it. I want to go see the obscure stuff, the other parts, the unsung heroes of the Revolution. I did one video on I'm the Span Am guy now. I mean, I'll take that. I'm the Span Am guy now, and I'm hoping an opening develops that in the future I can get Mr. Abels from the NGP History Project back on. I definitely want to do more stuff with him. I am just very busy at the moment, and I know the NGP History Project are very busy. They got several events for the late summer, early fall, but hopefully maybe early winter we can team back up. We could do another stream together. She said the T word. Oh, I like trains. I do like trains. What's wrong with liking trains? Trains are cool. A steam train is the closest humans had ever come to creating a life form that's not a human. Even closer than artificial intelligence. I'll fight you on that. Anyways. So we're going to do some shilling. It is shilling time here. Now, can somebody tell me, did you guys shill... because I was actually bounced between a Drink or Crazy stream for the Comic Books Wednesday. It's between him and Johnny Douglas's stream. Did you guys cover the Waifu Handbook yet? Have you guys got a chance to make him do the Waifu Handbook yet? I just want to watch him squirm. See? Did that seem out of character? Yeah, you know what I just referenced. Well, in either case, if you have or haven't, I'm going to do it. Yeah. So I had somebody just join our streams like, oh man, this guy loves history. And I'm just about to ruin it all. Welcome to Readout Productions, where one moment I can be talking about history, the next moment I'm talking about waifus. Yeah, clip that one, Trippy. So, the Ultimate TTRPG Handbooks for Weebs and Waifus. The Complete Waifu Handbook is a multi-system source book featuring anime-inspired races, over a dozen new teamwork-based classes and subclasses, powerful new backgrounds, and a robust cooking and camping system, and over 12 fully realized characters to add to your campaign setting. This book is 5e, Pathfinder 1, and Pathfinder 2e compatible. That means something to you D&D people, right? So, the Complete Waifu Handbook by Stuart Jones and Loading Cruise Crafts. So there's some nice artwork right there. Moving down through. Powerful anime races. New races and classes inspired by anime, Japanese, and Arabic folklore. Ooh, Arabic folklore as well. Each are powerful and designed with the intention of being interesting and integral parts of their personality. Divine Dragon, Nekomata, Nymph, Okami, Wolf Girls, Sand Elves, Yuri, Ghost Girls, Zenko, Fox Girls. You notice which one I didn't translate. The Divine Dragon, tell me, do you like forward to our dread, the day you'll leave this world? Personally, I can't stop thinking about the sad day I will have to part with all my friends. The thought of saying goodbye to you is especially sad. Daphne, the last Divine Dragon. Well, that was dark. And I guess those are the eponymous waifus in the handbook. Oh, and that's the eponymous cooking mechanics. Ooh, Sundere pizza, developed by a Zenko who had trouble expressing her emotions. The Sundere pizza is a dish covered in jalapenos and pineapple, reflecting her spicy but sweet personality. However, don't get the wrong idea. It's not like anyone made this for you or anything. Baka. I know people who can play this. Personally, I don't do tabletop, or I really don't do any games anymore, partly because of this problem. And I can spend hours research. I can't explain. I can spend hours with a history book, just writing notes, scribble. I got literally multiple notes right here from a book I was reading a couple weeks ago on Stalingrad. Just reading it for free and notes. Put me in front of a game, my attention span's gone. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I am a horrible person. Is there any more clickable things? Oh, reserve launch invite. So if you want to get an invite for when it launches, I think it's next week. Is it the 5th of September? I believe is when it launches. You guys may or may not know. There you are. Get waifu. It's just get waifu. The link. Of course. I'm dead. That's over. My reputation's ruined. To be fair, Trippy's like, you asked for it. I did. I kind of did. I regret nothing. We saw it, but no one chose the waifu handbook. Well, see, I'm shouting out then because certain somebody doesn't have the cojones to shout it out on his channel, even though I think he may have more standards than I do. Yeah, we had fun. I think Devil's Air shared it. Yeah, I think he's the one who's been shouting out a lot. Devil's Air had a very spicy post in the Weeb chat on the Gilded. Even that was kind of like, you might be drawing a line there. To which I responded with, hey, is anybody watching Black Lagoon? I love Black Lagoon. And John Smith responds with, yes, I have read a lot about the French and Indian War. Crucible of War. I call that the Bible of the French and Indian War. Well, the Bible of the 7 Years' War. Surprised to learn how many from Braddock's March fought in the Revolutionary War. Indeed, if you go to the Braddock's Battlefield History Center, you have a kind of partial roster of people they know were at that battle, and it just reads like a who's who of the Revolution, just going down the bracket. George Washington, Horatio Gates, both of which were for the American Army during the Revolution. Then for the British, you had Thomas Gage. You're also going to have, back to the Americans, Daniel Boone was there. Just about everybody was there, really. It's fascinating. It's always like, oh, you're at Bragg's defeat? Well, so was I. I was at the site of Bragg's defeat. I wasn't at the defeat, however. But I do have a few videos on the defeat. There is a video of a tour of the battlefield. It's now the city of Braddock. It was actually one of the first Retracing History videos I ever did, before I even knew what Retracing History would be. It's about an hour-long tour of the battlefield. I'm not the one on that video. It's actually the tour guide, Matt Galt. Matt Galt was the tour guide for that one, so be sure to check that out. I was thinking about sharing this too, but I trusted my trippy sense of screaming, don't do it. I apparently have no senses. I have numbed those senses now. So, and that's not it for the shilling. We got a couple more places to go. A couple more places. I got to shill. My heart's content. And next shill, if I can make my way around. I'm kind of spoiling my shills. I put the banner up, and then our next shill is For Watcher of the Damned by R.H. Snow. We have shilled this before. I got to shield again because the campaign is coming to a close. One more day. You have one more day to join this campaign. Which reminds me, I got to support this after the stream's over. I've been busy, okay? Watcher of the Damned. Fight the system. Join the revolution. Get my Gadsden flag out now. With Watcher of the Damned, the new Lone Star Revolution battles hell and high water on the trail of travail. Oh, okay. Travail. I thought I would keep going there. Okay, we already read that one. Hi, I'm Iron Age author and artist R.H. Snow. Saddle up. We're publishing my second sci-fi Western series, Watcher of the Damned, Wanderer. Oh, that is so cool artwork. How do I make it bigger? I want to look at it. It's so cool. Join the revolution of Watcher the Dam. Mutant cowboys and rebel clowns deal hot lead and heat rays to tyrants in post-apocalyptic Texas. But the new Lone Star Revolution needs more than bullets and barbecue. Why, I'm just said the initials. To fight the system, they need God on their side. Yes, you will. You will need bullets, barbecue, and Gad. Yes, that needs to be a sticker. That needs to be a sticker. My 5-star triple Prometheus Award nominated for series, Watcher the Dam. Watcher has all 6 illustrated books published and ready to thrill with tales of a wired West. Transmutation, Texas, Six Gun Shiva, Babe's Blood, Hellraisers and Heartbreakers, Purgatory and Paradise, Lone Star Libre. Can we just appreciate those are just all freaking awesome titles? With Watcher the Damned, you get chupacabras, drones, wrestling, mutant cowboys, evil, corrupt world governments, and much, much more. Number 1 Iron Age booty daddy, Royce from A Drink With Crazy, calls me the queen of the Iron Age, which is pretty awesome. And Iron Age orc lore, no, he's the king of the Twix now. And King of the Twix, Johnny Douglas, says, I'm a force of nature, which is actually very cool. Also, Razorfist retweeted me once, and Neurotics liked something I posted. I consider those major wins. Yeah, indeed. Now I'm publishing my second series, Watcher the Damned Wanderer. So what's really cool about this is you can basically join us. You can get something for giving $1. $1. If you give $1 to this campaign, you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book. Every backer gets a book. I love my backers, and you are making this possible. So you get the first fresh, hot off the presses PDF of Watcher the Dam, Trail of Travail, coming out September 2023. Tomorrow. The manuscript is out for formatting now, and I'm illustrating even as we speak. So come hell or high water, get ready to ride the Trail of Travail with Watcher of the Dam. Cover art by Laura R. Morris, illustrations by me. Cool. And then for $5, you get the book and you get a pretty cool digital poster. That's pretty cool. I might want that for my background. Watcher of the Dam set cover art. Here you get free digital cover art posters, hot lead and hot rays, Through the Flames, plus System and Star. $15 gets you free Sweet Hires digital posters of our beautiful Watch the Dam covers for Transmutation Texas, Six Gun Shiva, and the Purgatory Papers. Trippy cover art by Laura R. Morris. And those are the tiers. And there were other tiers, but they're sold out. Unfortunately, they are sold out. So there is almost no reason. I don't want to say there should be no reason, because $1 can legit be a lot for somebody in this day and age. There is almost no reason for everybody in the chat not to go to Fund My Comic, and for $1 you get a digital PDF of the next book in the Watcher the Dam series. Now, I do have one unfortunate. I must make a confession here. I sadly have not read the original series. I have a lot on my reading plate. In addition to my free college courses right now, I got all these books up here. There's a spot for a very big, beefy book called American Prometheus that I am reading. Back here, many of these are Iron Age books. And because I always keep this on standby for some reason now, I am currently trying to work my way through this one. By the way, buy his book. Buy it. Buy the book. Buy the book. See, I didn't even plan the shill for Herman, and he's worked his way in my brain, and now I shill him on command. I see the book, buy the book. So there's a lot of books I'm trying to work through, a lot of work I'm trying to get through, which is why I have not got a chance to get to Watcher the Dam, but I have sensed this winter might be a good time to get into the series. Just start and burn my way through apocalyptic Texas. So that is Watcher of the Damned. Yeah. Buy the book. Buy the book. Typo hid from my eye. Oh, this is what he's talking about. I was thinking about sharing this too, but okay. That's what he was talking about. And speaking of which, a lot being on my plate, as you just heard me mention, yes, a lot happening right now here at Readout Productions. Sadly, not a lot of it relating to the channel. College started up this week for me. Courses so far going good, but they are taking a lot of my energy. And for that reason, and because college fall festival season here in Western Pennsylvania, which means I'm going to be volunteering and assisting for a lot. For those reasons, you're going to notice a downtick in upload rates. I've been very good this summer. I'm very proud of myself that almost every week I've had an upload a video from June through now. Very proud of myself. We've definitely grown the channel, and thank you for joining. If you joined over the summer, if you joined today, if you joined a year ago, joined when I first started, thank you for helping and following this channel. But I do have to take a bit of a breather. I should still be doing the streams about once a week. Those aren't too hard to do or plan for, but you will see a downtick in my upload rate for videos. So that being said, there is a big edition of Retracing History coming out because it's the 50th episode, Retracing History. And what did I choose for the 50th episode? Well, in my attempts apparently to sync my channel in the YouTube algorithm, I decided to talk about the Confederate monuments at Gettysburg. We will be going through the history of the monuments, how Confederate monuments came to exist on the battlefield, and how they changed over the years. I noticed there was like 3 distinct phases of monumentization on the field, and you can learn about that if you watch the video this Saturday. Premieres at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then after that, videos, like I said, downtick in weekly upload rate through the rest of summer and into fall. But I will be back. Videos will be back once college is done. Once I get through the fall festival season, I should be back firing all cylinders during the winter. So that's the end of the stream. I think this was a very fun stream. Maybe that's just a rum talking. Any final thoughts? Does anybody have any final thoughts before I hit the music? The music. No, I always forget to use this. I always forget to use it. All right. Can't post comments. Nice. I'll single the ship with you, Captain. Come with me. Join with me as we go down with the ship. Oh, maybe I should have like one of these. I should maybe have that on backup, like near my God TV on backup. For once, just in case everything goes off the rails. Like, that's it, the stream's done. All right. Well, with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Let me get I'm cheating, so I'm just queuing up the funnies and just playing the song from there. Yeah, I'm getting lazy now. All right. That's my show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully I can see you. Hopefully I'll see you this Saturday watching Retracing History. Hopefully I can see you next Thursday, same time, if I'm able to get another Uncut History. And I am working on a special Uncut History. I'm hoping I can have a special guest on Uncut History here in a couple weeks. Currently communicating and working out the details on that. Till then, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. No, that's not the button I want to hit. Almost went near perfect.